Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm with Brittany here. You can't see my hands. There we go.
No.
And today we're going to do fraudulent news. Fraudulent news is another term for fake news.
How to recognize what is fake news and what is real news.
Yep. And we will go away for a brief moment, like last time. So you got the drill.
Okay, so first we're going to cover what is fake news. Fake news is essentially false stories written to sell papers or get clicks in the digital world. So you'll just see things in your news feed on Facebook, and it's the kind of stuff that you're like, what? That's not quite right. It's also sensational stories that lure views, and false stories written for propaganda. Sometimes it's satire, like on The Onion.
I love The Onion. It's so funny.
And then there are hoax sites that share false information with the intent to trick the readers. There's also digital manipulation with images, where people alter or edit an image in a way that makes it look like it's depicting something it's not. And then sometimes journalists just get things wrong. Okay, so there is something called media bias. And I'll just read it to you. It's on your screen, you can read it too. But it's information that is unfair, unbalanced, or incomplete in the discussion of an issue. Biased media often lacks context and diversity, relies on stereotypes, loaded imagery, easy explanations, or highly partisan influence. That's a lot of gobbledygook. It can occur on purpose or because they just didn't seek out balanced sources and ask the deep questions or do good enough research to find out all the information. And media bias is also typically one-sided or lacks neutrality. And then there's editorial perspective. Every reporter, editor, or publisher has a point of view. When the point of view is transparent to the reader or viewer, it can help us understand where the creator is coming from and to evaluate whether we agree and what perspectives might be missing. When the perspective is hidden or the reporter denies their bias, then news quality suffers. This is why it's important to think critically about everything we read, watch, and listen to. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how do you tell what news is fake or real. There's several questions you can ask as you're reading something to determine whether it's fake or real. One is, what exactly are you reading? Is it just the news, a feature story, an editorial? Is it a disguised ad?
Oh, I hate those.
Mm-hmm. You think there's a story and then you click on it and you're like, no, that's just...
I know.
And then once you identify the type of writing, you can determine the purposes of the writer. And then another question is this intentionally being sensationalized? So if it's purposely exaggerated and being provocative, then ask yourself what the writer is trying to make you think or do. So which way are they kind of trying to convince you of, that kind of thing. And then who are the authors? Actually investigate to see what organizations they belong with, if they're a real journalist or if it's just someone blogging.
Bloggers are pretty good too, sometimes.
They can be. Depends on if they do their research.
Yeah.
Okay, another question is, where is the news coming from? With a digital source, you can look at the URL, but sometimes there are fake URLs that look almost exactly like the real one. So you have to really look at it and make sure you're really on CBS or you're really on NBC.
Oh, yeah. Especially for those of you guys who like to Google a lot of things. For our past experience, when we had people come to our library, use our computers, they like to Google Facebook. And the first thing they click on will be a fake link. And you think, oh, I got it from Google. Yes, you can get fake links from Google. So you have to be vigilant and pay attention to the URL. Just don't click on the link to say, oh, facebook.com. Log in. No. Because 9 out of 10, you'll get a website that says, hey, your computer got a virus. You can't exit out of it and do anything. It says, call this number.
Do not call the number.
And ask for you to do this. And yes, like Brittany said, don't call the number. It's somebody who's trying to scam you and get your money. So that's my little 2 cents for that.
And look at the pictures. Are they real or are they fake? Are they altered? Is what they're depicting really believable? And then number 6 is, where did the sources mentioned in the news article come from? So, when you're reading the article and if they're listing their sources, you can go to those sources and see if what they're saying is true and if it's what they're, sorry, I'm trying to word this right.
It's okay.
If how they're reporting from their source, if it's accurate or if they're spinning the truth.
I learn is, okay, here's a news source about this crazy headline. All right, does this crazy headline that happened, so-called happened, does it repeat itself? Like, can I go online and find other articles or other news sources talking about this crazy headline? If you cannot find one, 9 out of 10, it's a fake news report. It may be true, time hasn't passed enough, but again, that's just, it happens. Just give it some time. If you see it, wait a couple of days, look it up. If it still hasn't pop up, then it's fake. If it pop up after 2 or a couple of hours gone by, it more likely be real.
Okay, this is just a fun image of news quality. So there's the mainstream news sources like NPR, the New York Times. Those are mainstream and they have minimal partisan bias. So those are up in the middle. And then you go to the right and to the left and down as they get more and more ridiculous as you go down. I don't know how to word that better. So you should not trust the Daily Mail, and you should not trust. It's over there.
Daily Cosmos. Oh, wow, BuzzFeed's on the left side.
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah, they're liberal, but they're not really accurate sources of information.
That's true. I've seen some of their information like, this is entertaining, but sometimes you guys are being ridiculous.
Yeah. But this is just a fun chart, though it is accurate. You'll see some more mainstream news sources that are on the right and the left. But it's up to you to go through what they provide you to see if you believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this next section, we're going to show you how to tell if news is fake or not. Okay. So fact checking is important because you should know where your information is coming from, if it's true or not. And there's a couple different ways you can do your fact checking. This first one's called the CRAP test. It's looking for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. And each one has different questions you can ask yourself. So for currency, it's like, what information is published? When was the information published or posted? How often was it revised and updated? And then there's relevance, like who's the intended audience? Is the information, how does the information relate to your topic? So this is kind of like if you're doing research. And then authority, who is the author, publisher, source, or sponsor? Does the URL match? All that stuff we talked about earlier. And accuracy, where does the information come from? Has the information been reviewed? And then there's purpose. What's the purpose of the information? Is it to inform, to teach, to sell, to entertain? There's just a lot of things to consider when you're looking at an article. Okay, and one fact-checking tool is if you use Chrome, is the BS detector, and we're going to show you how to install it and how to use it.
So hold on, everyone. We're going to install BS detector. So go to apps, go to the web store. Once that load, type in BS.
It's a poo emoji.
Really? That's...
Yeah, and there'll be a little poo emoji in the corner of your screen.
Okay.
It works though.
Hey, as long as it works, that's the matter. That's all that matters. All right, it has been added.
So, now that you have the BS detector installed on Chrome, you'll see a little poop emoji in the top right corner.
Right here, guys. You can see my mouse moving around.
And when you go to websites, it'll give you a heads up if it's considered fake news. So let's go ahead and type in Infowars.
Infowars.
Things.com. Could be .org. Things.com. Yeah. And on the top there, it says, warning, this may not be a reliable source. Conspiracy theory.
So that's from the poo emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's from the BS detector. And the BS detector also works if you're on Facebook and a news story pops up that's considered unreliable.
That's pretty cool.
But you'll just get the red banner along the top.
Yeah. We're not going to our Facebook page.
No.
I'm sorry for those who think, oh, we want to see their Facebook. No, I'm sorry. We're going back to our home screen, and it's going away for a brief moment. We come back to it.
Okay. Though I do have a screenshot here from Facebook, and you can see, I want to point, but I know they can't see me pointing.
Okay, so here's her. And
You can see it came up with the red bar, and it has some kind of warning. I can't read it. I don't remember what it says. That was from several months ago.
yeah, I can't see that either. It's pretty tiny.
But if you go on Facebook, that will pop up if there's something. It's from Occupy Democrats. Just like...
Yeah, I kind of figures it's interesting, it's entertaining, but you gotta take it with a grain of salt what they post. They like to tell you one side of the story, and that's it.
So now we have a list of websites you can use for fact-checking. There's Snopes, PolitiFact, factcheck.org, trutherfiction.com, Hoaxy, Hoaxslayer, and All Sides. And we'll go back to our Chrome window and show you these.
If you want, you can go ahead and screenshot this if you want to. If you don't, it's okay. We will also make a downloadable PDF file for you guys to download and keep for your own records.
Okay, so this one, first one's PolitiFact.
Want the mouse?
Yeah. And what PolitiFact does is they give you these ratings on these different news stories or things people have said. And the rating goes true, mostly true, false, mostly false, and then there's also pants on fire. And here's a pants on fire. Something someone said Donald Trump said, or something he said and it wasn't true. But this is just handy it's just to look at, and yeah, someone tweeted something that's a pants on fire. It's a hoax. This is a fun site to play around on. And then we have Snopes. I hope most people are already familiar with Snopes. I've been using it for about 15 years.
I learned about it like a year ago from Chad.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been using this since I was like in middle school.
Well, he'd been using it for a while too. He's like, oh, those are not Snopes. I was like, what's that? I don't know, I'm the IT person. I don't know nothing about this.
So
The thing you learn.
we're going to click on fact check. And these are different stories that have come up, and it'll give you a rating of if it's true or not. I had not seen this one. Did Keanu Reeves help pay for a stranger's kidney transplant with an envelope of cash? I doubt it, and I was right. It's false. It'll tell you if it's false or true, and then it'll explain why and where the story came from or how it originated. This site is fun. It also has urban legends on it, so that's also fun to look at, but it's mostly useful for fact-checking. Another one is Truth or Fiction. It's not as fancy as the other sites, but it has good information on it. So here's a section on the hurricanes, and there's just different articles. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. So it'll tell you what they're saying, if it's fiction or not. So it says it's fiction and it's unproven. So it'll give you a summary of a rumor, and then it'll tell you the truth. And another cool one is All Sides. This one will show you the same article from 3 different points of view, the right, the center, and the left. So you can read the same story from several different points of view, and then you can see the media bias. It's pretty cool. And then there is factcheck.org. But on this one, there is this function, which is Ask Fact Check. So there'll be a question, and there'll be an answer. It's fun to read through. So this one looks better. Did President Donald Trump order the removal of Barack Obama's name from, let me reread that again. This one reads, did President Donald Trump order the removal of Barack Obama's name from a Florida highway? The answer is no. That rumor comes from a false headline attached to a 2015 opinion piece critical of the name change. Sorry. But it'll just give you different little things that people are wondering about and then the answer. So this is HoaxLayer. And look at the categories.
I'm saying anything good.
Facebook scams. Apparently there's something going around about giving free plane tickets. That is not true. Get a free BMW. No, you will not get a free BMW.
I've seen those all the time.
Yeah.
Do you want to get this free item?
It's like, no.
Like, share, and say
It's like-
blah, blah, blah in the comments, and you will be entered a winning.
No,
Yeah, those
you're
are
not going
scams.
to get free things from Facebook. And then here's the 10 most popular articles on HoaxLayer. Apparently there's something about Adidas giving away shoes, $1,000 gift card. A call, it says, no, a call from 777-888-999 will not blast your phone. Why would it?
Okay.
And then the final one is hoaxy. This shows you how news is spread. Can you think of a recent news story that you want to look up?
Normally I would have, but I hadn't been checking my footboard in the past 2 weeks, which is very odd for me. I always checking the latest articles coming out.
Let's see. And about the government shutdown.
Oh, that would be one.
Because apparently it's shutting down again.
What?
See what I saw today?
See. I think it's about right.
Just typing in government.
Yeah, why not? we'll get more hits.
Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. So if you type in something, you'll get a list of different news stories. And I'll just click the top 10. So there's claims, and then there's fact-checking articles that pop up. And then you'll click on visualize. We were pretty vague. It might be like, what were they wanting?
Yeah, that's true, but I'm so used to telling people, go use Thingiverse, find your 3D model. You got to be vague. You want more hits.
Okay. So the purple is claims and the orange is fact checks. So this is how many claims versus how many fact checks. And then over here, it's sources and stories and where they came from. So where these places are getting their sources, and you can click on things and see that someone was tweeting about something. It's fun to play around if you know some current events you want to look up and see someone cited these people who tweeted got information from InfoWars. It's fun to play around with. Let's go back to PowerPoint, maybe. Yes, okay. And that was really all we had for showing you websites. There are a few other fact-checking tips I'm going to show you. Or we can just tell you that. One's the reverse image search. So sometimes people will take an old image and claim it's depicting something that it's not. And you can do a reverse image search on Google. But with a reverse image search, if you see an image in an article, you can save the image, pop it in Google, and it'll show you everywhere else it was used. So you'll know if it is an image actually related to the story. And we talked about this earlier, but check the URL and make sure the website is real, because there are fake websites floating around out there.
I think Catfish uses that, reverse images.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't admit how they're doing it. They have their own thing. I bet they're using Google.
Mm-hmm. And of course, look and see where else the story has been reported. Look at other sources of news. Make sure it's not just one place that's reporting a story. Because if it's true, there should be more than one place reporting something. Oh.
Yeah, we're back. And that was Falls Written News with Brittany. And you have any more questions, just leave a comment and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. Or you can come to the library and we'll gladly try to help you out. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add on to this?
No.
No? All right. We will see you guys next time and have a good day.